Hey guys, a couple of new pickups, both from eBay. One of them I opened beforehand and then lost the jiffy, so whoops. But let's undo the one I haven't. Trying not to reveal the other one. Oops. First. It's one I've been waiting for ages because for some reason it took a month to come from eBay, and it is Killswitch for the original Xbox. Now this came out on the PlayStation 2 as well. I'm not sure if it came out on the GameCube. Basically, it was really hyped at the time. And it's just a third-person sort of action shooter, and yeah, it's put out by Namco. I can't remember quite a lot about it, to be honest with you at this point, but I just remember I wanted it for so long. The trouble with it when it came out was that it's not really a gameplay thing, I don't think. The gameplay's quite twitchy, and it's basically, like I say, a cover-based third-person shooter. But the graphics were horrible, even when it came out for 2002, and I imagine they probably look pretty bad now as well. But yeah, it did look like a decent and interesting shooter with some new ideas, but it comes with the manual and the disc, which is always good news. It's in good shape. If we flicker over though, this is quite annoying, there's actually a label, and that's not actually on the plastic, that's actually stuck on the sort of artwork, and I'm not going to try, I should say, to pull it off, because I know damn well what's going to happen. It'll either rip off the image that's on there, or just tear it, and I've had that happen before with other things, so it's really annoying when people do that. I think it's a rental store or someone who's selling it, and they price it up like that. But I picked this up for $5 from the States, and like I said, I've been after it for ages, and it only came out on the Xbox in the USA. So it was always a matter of, I was going to wait until I found it cheap online. I was never going to pick this up in a shop. I didn't want the PS2 version because it didn't look as good, and there was no 60Hz mode. And I'm quite finicky like that. I do. If it's a choice between a PlayStation 2 version of a game and an Xbox version of the game, I'm always going to get the Xbox one because they were always better. It's not exactly the same nowadays, the 360 and the PS3, and it might upset a lot of people to say, but to be honest, like 90% of the time, the 360 versions are better. But it was 100% of the time in these days. I mean, I recall one example. In fact, the only thing that comes to mind is apparently the original Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. I heard when it was reviewed, the Xbox version, that there were frame rate problems, and I've only played for a little bit of it on the Xbox, and I've yet to experience that. But that may be the one exception. But at the same time, what I have played of it looked better than the PS2 one, so, it's up to you on that. Anyhow, Killswitch, like I say, just a sort of generic-ass third-person action game with a cover system from 2002 from Namco, so you'll see some footage of that on the screen, and if you like the look of it, buy the PS2 version, because this one's a pain in the ass to get hold of. The last item of the day I picked up from eBay as well. I got this from a UK seller, and that is Guitar Man for the PS2. Now this is a rhythm-based game, but it came out in, I think this is 2002 as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it's 2002. So this predates Guitar Hero by like 3 years. Not that's an incredible achievement, because there were rhythm games at that point, but this one was a pretty big hit in Japan, I think. It was quite popular over here as well. It reviewed well as well. It did come out in the UK, but again, no 60Hz, no buy. So I picked up this one for $7.99, free delivery, from a UK seller on eBay. And like I say, it's the American version. Wonderful artwork. Wasn't really into this when it came out, but the appeal for me and the appeal for people at the time was the sort of the music that was in it. From what I know, it's not licensed music, but it's just got a really good soundtrack. Can you call it soundtrack when you're actually participating in it? I guess you can. But yeah, this is in great shape, and I'm so happy that it's in the condition it's in. The artwork is awesome. So really, really pleased with that. And I'm glad to finally own it. I did have an opportunity to sort of blag the PAL version ages ago, but I didn't want it because of the 50Hz thing. But yeah. So one of the harder to come by games on the PS2, I'd say, at least this version, and I'm absolutely delighted to have it at long last. Again, footage on screen for those of you who want to know what it's about. Can't really say much else other than it's just a really good rhythm game, in the vein of sort of Parappa the Rapper and that kind of thing, that predates, again, Guitar Hero. Hey guys, these are some pickups I just got from Blockbuster, only 2 of which I actually wanted, but I'll explain why in a sec. So, Point Blank, the original, for 95p. Case a bit busted. Comes to the front art. The manual without the front and back pages. The disc, which is in reasonable shape. And the artwork on the back as well. For 95p, that's pretty good. I've seen this go quite dear, I think, on eBay. So that's really cool. Age of Empires 2, I've got this already, but I picked it up because it was one of the more rare games they had in the 3 for 10. There's no manual, unfortunately, in typical Blockbuster fashion, and the disc is a bit scratched. If you like Age of Empires, this is actually a pretty solid console port for the PS2, so if anyone wants this, it's obviously up for grabs. Also picked up Smackdown Surreal 2007. Why? I hear you cry. I own every Smackdown game apart from 2 that I sold, which was 07 and 08, so I figured, I was going to pick them up again, because I do like them, and the beauty of wrestling games for me is that it captures a period of time in wrestling. There's different outfits, different storylines you'll remember, different theme songs. There's those kind of really specific details that any sort of wrestling crazed lunatic would appreciate, but it's just something that's cool to go back to. So yeah, Smackdown 07. The one I actually wanted, Resident Evil 4 limited edition for the PS2. I looked at this and thought, wow, this looks lush. Having just made that Resident Evil 2 review video, it seemed like a good idea. Also, I just assumed Capcom around this time, which is 2005, were doing 60Hz modes in their games, so I took the risk, and lo and behold, it does support 60Hz. So look at that, limited edition Resident Evil 4. There's a little mini guide that comes with it. Actually, it's kind of cool. How far does that take you? To the first boss. It's pretty cool. And of course the manual. It's in considerably better shape than the guide. And disc itself, in really good shape considering. So yeah, that's a really cool limited edition. I've ordered this before because it was inferior to the GameCube one in a couple of ways, but as I was saying with the Resident Evil 4 review, I have no problem owning multiple versions of classic games, so that's a welcome addition to the collection, and there you go. Resident Evil 4, baby.
10, 9, 5, 4, 7.